truth. How do you feel? How do you feel about Joy Reid, Don Lemon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Bette Midler, and many others departing X, formerly known as Twitter? Go ahead. Don't let the door hit you. Please, peace out. Have a great time. You will not be missed. Any of us who don't even like Twitter, don't use X. I've never joined in the sense that I've never really liked posting there. I posted maybe one or two. It was always a toxic app. It's always been that way. So for her to say in her peace out video, I had to get away from the negativity. It's like, girl, please. All right. The app was always negative. It was negative when it was owned way back in the day. I believe Jack Dorsey owned Twitter. And here's the thing. Why would you remain on the app if you knew you weren't posting, that you went dormant? She said that it was because of her handle. She wanted to keep her handle, right? And now show the video here and you guys tell me what you think.
And the reason for doing it and kissing goodbye my 1.9 million followers over there is because I hadn't been posting for a long time. I just didn't want to contribute content once it was purchased by its present owner. But just having it there, I was only holding on to it because I, really didn't want someone trying to take over that name and using it for nefarious purposes. I was a little bit worried about that. And also every so often I would use it to just sort of look at news that was trending and what's happening. And I would just sort of use it as an aggregator. But I just realized that's not really worth it, because in order to do the news aggregation and just look at all, you have to wade through a lot of dreck and a lot of just abuse and a lot of just negativity, and it's just not worth it. And, I think that we sort of prioritize this, this idea of follower count and it's become like a modern kind of, testament to your worth. And it really isn't, it's just about the quality of the interactions that you have and the communication that you have and what you can provide, the content that you feel like you can provide that's helpful.
There she mentions that, it was negative and, she wasn't really using it anymore. It's kind of like a media place for her to go and get information. I'm thinking, you are the media. Why are you using Twitter to get the information? You are the media, This is just evidence to me that media is so biased that they're literally just they're just opinion pieces. They're just people like you and I that, get on these apps and we voice our opinion. It's no different. The news is not the news of the Walter Cronkite era. It's bias on the left and bias on the right, but mostly on the left. The Democrats have taken over the mainstream news. Legacy news is not what it used to be. I think what they don't like is the fact that now it's owned by a Republican, it's owned by a conservative man that has multiple children, that is a white man, as they would consider him, and probably a racist is what Joy Reid would call him, because she's the most vindictive, spiteful, hateful, deceitful, lying. And I want to say more about her, but I can't, because bashing. And to me, there's no point in, I talked to my daughter today and I was saying, you can't let people you don't like be on your mind. You can't worry about people that have no place in your life. If you have to think about these people that much, that they're in your mind 24/7, then they are actually winning. So ultimately, I've never thought of Joy Reid. I've never thought of Don Lemon. I've never thought of Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't search for them. I don't look them up. So there's no sweat off my back that they leave. I just find it so narcissistic when people have to make this grand announcement. Who are you talking to?
Friday, November 15th, X is implementing new terms of service, which, among other things, states that, quote, all disputes be brought exclusively in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas, end quote. The full terms of service can be found on my written statement or on the X website.
Pretty much all celebrities, and this is, in my opinion, fact, they buy bots, they buy views, they buy people looking at them. And she's got millions of people following her, so the app is going to push her information out more. Same thing with Don Lemon. All right. So I feel like conservatives could do better. Conservatives really need to support one another. I find that most conservatives anyway do not even use apps. Most conservatives I know, Republicans, do not get on the internet. They're not on Facebook. They're not on Instagram, which is where I pretty much, I'm 100% sure Joy Reid and Don Lemon and all of them are going to go, because those apps have been bought out by leftist nutbags. If you ask me, Mark Zuckerberg and his apps are left-wing, batshit crazy liberals. That's all that's on there. And so I really hate using those apps. I know I have to sometimes to reach a wider audience, but it's really hard to get any views on there, like, because they know that I'm conservative leaning. And it's interesting because I've never always been that way. I voted for Obama. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I even was going to vote for Bernie Sanders. I realize that people can change. They can change. They need to have opposing views. You need to have other people's opinions. When you create an echo chamber for yourself where it's just one viewpoint all the time, consistently battering you day in, day out, you can't form an opinion that is unbiased. That we've gotten to a point where we're like this, but I think, and I'm 100% positive, it's only going to worsen over the next 4 years. People in the real world shunning their own family members, saying, I can't be at your house, I can't talk to you, I can't be around you because your views are so far right or your views are so far left. It's going to get worse. And I know this just because it's happened in my own family. I have family members trying to brainwash my adult child who's in college that her mom is wrong and she should have voted for Kamala Harris. And okay, I give my child the 100% benefit of the doubt that I raised her in a way for her to have enough common sense to do the research for herself, to go what Agenda 47 was about. To look up, is he really a Nazi? Is he really from Germany and a Nazi? Because apparently that's what the mainstream news touted for the past 4 freaking years. In fact, longer than that he's a racist Nazi. So it's amazing to see all of the people now just backing off of that. Like, I mean, I saw a video of Trump sitting in the White House with Joe Biden, shaking hands and smiling. And I'm thinking to myself, but why would anyone shake their hands with a Nazi? It doesn't make any sense at all, does it? Anyway, so Jamie Lee Curtis, all of them are leaving. CNN is one of the worst networks in the history of networks. I'm shocked that they're even trying to make a comeback now. I believe a lot of these networks are going to die. We're going to see them dead by 2030. No one's following them. Everyone's going online. Please subscribe to my channel and follow. I will be working with other people in the future. I do want to branch off and do interviews. I do want to work with people in not just politics, but other celebrities and people like that. I'd love to work with them. The ones that are like Zachary Levi and, Rob Schneider and all the people that went out there and said, no, I'm voting for Trump. I like Trump. And I don't care if I get blacklisted by Hollywood. I don't care if, the mainstream Hollywood crowd doesn't like me. I'm going to stand on principle. You got all these people here getting butt hurt, people breaking up with their husbands and saying they're going to divorce and, fighting within. This is exactly what politics does to people. US politics is not the only politics in the world. This is happening worldwide, globally right now. There's so much division in the world, so much hatred, that I truly believe that, yeah, if you want to make it comfortable for yourself, subscribe to the people you care about, but do not stop listening to opposing voices. It's healthy to listen to what they have to say and to try to find some sort of common ground, something that brings you together, that you could say, aha, I agree with that, Joy Reid. If you enjoyed this content today, or you just like these type of conversations, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Let's make 2025 a great year together. And I'd love for you guys to help my community grow. I do respond to as many comments as possible here and on TikTok. And remember, as always, think for yourself and have a great day.